Hello,
Yo,
Papito.
yo, yo, yo.
Yo, yo.
Welcome back to yet another episode with the
Welcome back.
puppies.
Now we get better with Papi Flo. We are fully charged. Now we are the same. But no, hope you like
Still
the
sick,
last.
but
Still,
kicking.
hope you liked the last episode was fun too. But today we are going. Well, now we are going to talk about something that happened to me, like the as was telling you, Flo, the last week about yeah, re-questioning your knowledge, like re-questioning not only your beliefs but your knowledge, something that you've learned and that you thought it was the right knowledge or the best way to do something, but then you can always re-question it. So I'll give you an example, like for what happened to me, just to open the discussion. So I've been like in doing like digital marketing for maybe 5 years, and like e-commerce, especially like for e-commerce. And the first thing that I've learned is like when you launch an e-commerce shop, you have to do ads. You have to like do Facebook ads, TikTok ads, because it's like the fastest way to get results. Because you pay, of course you have to pay, but then you get instant traffic or instant people to your website. And of course it is true. Like it's one of the main reasons. But then like the part about SEO, or like the part about organic traffic that you can get from search engine like Google or etc. I didn't like took care about this, because people in the courses I've done, they said that it takes time. It's like, of course it can work, but it takes a lot of time, etc. And it's not maybe the best way. And then the last weeks I was looking at the stats of my shop, and I saw that I have some people coming from Google, that I haven't like optimized nothing, but I have some traffic coming from search engine, and I see that I've made some sales from this. And then I said, well, maybe there is something here that I didn't know, no, like maybe I didn't put my focus or my knowledge into this, but maybe there's something here I can learn. And so that's a bit what I wanted to open the discussion. Not only about, it's not to talk about digital marketing, but it's to open about like re-questioning your knowledge and your and what you think is good or right. Because yeah, I was focusing a lot on, for example, on doing ads, on working on my on TikTok, etc., on doing ads, because I thought that this is the knowledge or the thing I have to do. But then I didn't learn a lot about SEO and how it works. And maybe I missed something, maybe I missed because of course I've made some sales from it, and maybe I'm missing here some improvements. So it's just like to open my mind. And now I can now re-question myself about like these topics about SEO, and also about the website structure that I have to do. And it's interesting because yeah, it's like I'm relearning. It's like I'm relearning again. It's like again, I feel I'm a beginner again, even though I have a lot of knowledge in certain areas. But like now, it's like I'm again a beginner.
Knowledge is everything. There's also this saying like, you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know something, then you just don't know that you don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's maybe it's confusing. I will give an example. So for example, let's say, losing weight or gaining muscle.
mm,
I think most people are struggling with this, and I met so many people who are like, no, I can't lose weight. I tried, I can't. And the only reason why these people can't lose weight is always, pretty much always, because they don't know how to. So it's not that they can't, it's just they don't know. So that's why they are like, okay, I can't, because but imagine like you know how to and you're doing it and you're actually losing weight, then you would never say I can't.
yes, logic. It's very logic. But it's interesting, the knowledge, because it's the same as you said. Let's say, okay, I give another example because it's easier to use examples. But let's say you have been told by your mom or your family how to cook, how to make a chocolate cake, like the recipe that your grandma, your all your ancestors have used the same recipe for many years, how to make the chocolate cake. And this is maybe one recipe, that's one knowledge that maybe you pass through generation to generations, and then you make a good chocolate cake. But now let's say someone else come, let's say Flo, you come to me and you say, look, me, in my recipe I will use eggs, but then maybe in your recipe we use ketchup. Like for example, you say we use ketchup in my thing. Like what the fuck? But then maybe, maybe you have a knowledge that I don't know. Maybe you have like a secret sauce, secret recipe that I don't know. And it's like, for the same goal or for the same like kind of recipe, we can have different knowledge. And sometimes we think that our knowledge is the best because we have been told this way for many years, like from our family, but also it's not only from our family, it's like from generations and generations how to do certain things. And then we believe that I know how to do it because I've learned it from my dad or from my mom. But yeah, if you don't have to take it for granted. That's what I wanted to say. There's other people maybe do it other way, and it's also working.
Yeah, I think that's like, let's say with the cake. Let's say you have the perfect cake and you love your cake, and you try my cake and you're like, holy shit, this cake is amazing. This cake is better than mine. And then you're like, wow, what was I doing wrong, or what is he doing different, right? So yeah, always keeping an open mind and let the ego stay on the side, and yeah, try new things, or just be okay with the fact that you don't always have the knowledge you need. Maybe you have a knowledge, and you have a knowledge, right? You always do,
Yeah.
but maybe it's not the knowledge. So for now, it's your knowledge, but maybe it's not the knowledge for the future, right?
Yeah, I agree. But so this is something I love this topic. Now I realized it. It's about what is true and what is not true. This is like based on what we are talking now. To find out if there is really a truth, also based on knowledge, because we can say that based on the knowledge that we've got from centuries and millions, like thousands of years, we know from all we have knowledge in mathematics. We have like certain knowledge in mathematics. But of course, I believe that we know nothing about the universe. We know nothing, or we know a bit of things, but we know nothing from the whole universe. Even though we believe that we have a lot of knowledge now because we can like do smartphones, we can go to the moon, etc. But actually, we have little knowledge compared to the whole immensity of the universe. And I think it is because also, well, I say this because sometimes we believe that certain things is true, but maybe it doesn't have to be. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I take my finger and I cut my finger. And by knowledge, or by also past experience, we can assume that I will have blood and I have a lot of blood in my computer. This is one thing that we can see as a truth. But let's say now I go in space and I go now in the space and I cut my finger in the space. But now, now it's not necessary that I will have blood because it's so cold that maybe even there is no gravity there. So then maybe I'm not going to bleed, or maybe I'm going to bleed, but a different way that I'm doing it in Earth. And that's what I mean about knowledge. Is like it's not it depends on a lot of things. Sometimes we can believe that we have a knowledge about something, but maybe it's only for a specific, very specific case, and not for all the case. And well, now I took like a bit stupid example, but it can be applied to many things. It can be applied to many things because it depends on the conditions of how do you apply your knowledge in a certain way. Well, I
I
don't
think
know.
it's a good example.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of like,
It's a bit
not for
creepy,
everyone,
but
but it
yeah.
is, it's like,
Yeah,
or if you cut yourself in the water, like you go inside to swim, and then you cut your feet, and then the blood is flowing in a different way. I love what you're saying.
but what I wanted to, the main thing is to bring the concept of like you don't know, you know nothing. That's the thing. We know nothing, and we have to believe that we know nothing. And I think it's at the moment where we believe that we know that we lose, or that we not that we lose, but that we become that is dangerous. Because at the moment that you start believing that you know everything, or that you have knowledge, is the moment that you lose in a certain way. But it's not that there's no winners or losers, but I mean it's the moment that you don't grow also and you stop. And I think this happens a lot, especially in science and in many like other things, that a lot of people think they know certain things because they have done the studies, because they went to Harvard or whatever. They think that they know more than you because they have all this knowledge, but it doesn't mean that they know. I don't know what. I don't want to feel also pretentious in saying this, but it's not because you've studied something for a long time that you know more than what I know. That's what I wanted to say, because maybe maybe you know nothing also, and me too. Maybe I know nothing. I'm not saying that I know more. I mean, what I wanted to say is I don't want to say that I know more than you, but we know together nothing.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to say it because it's true that sometimes when you have a specific topic, you can say, let's say I will talk to you now, Flo. I will say, hey, look, Flo, in e-commerce, I know more than you because I've done shops in the past. I have been doing this for 5 years. But so that means that I cannot learn from you. If I say this, it means I cannot learn from you. If I say this, is because I put myself as an expert and you are not an expert in this because of the society telling you or telling me that because I've studied this for many years, because I went to because I have a degree or whatever, I know more than you. And this, I think, is a danger. This is a big danger.
It is. It is. I think it's interesting because you mentioned, Harvard or whatever. People in general who go to universities, I don't want to talk shit when it comes to the whole system, but I do believe that nowadays we can learn pretty much everything online, and you don't necessarily have to go to the university. So if you are really focusing on one topic and one topic only, and you are studying it for years and years and years and years, but you're not going to university, right?
Yeah.
You can still, like, you can have better knowledge than someone who went to the university. So it's everything is relative. I think knowledge is also relative. Yes, maybe I can't learn from you when it comes to search engine optimization or whatever, but at the same time, like, the things you do, it's so complex, right? So I do believe that we can always learn something from another person, no matter who this other person is.
Yeah. No, that's right. But also to change the narrative about yourself, because I say this also for myself, no, not for the people, but also for myself. It's true that sometimes because you have read many things, because you have done many things in certain topic, that you think that you know everything, or you know more than a certain person. But it's not that you know more, but it's an ego. It's like you inflate your ego. You have ego inflation. And so then you're blocking new information coming in because you believe that you have the truth, that you hold the knowledge. But especially in this area, in like digital marketing, is changing so fast and so much, like every year, even like every like 6 months, everything is changing. So it's really important to stay flexible into your knowledge. But I mean, changing your way of like being more humble, not like to say, I know nothing. And maybe imagine, boy, this maybe is about wisdom. It's like very being wise. It's about saying that you don't know, even though you know. I don't know. Let's say Einstein now comes to us and he says, guys, he's talking to us about relativity and all of these theories that he's done, and he says, guys, I know nothing about all of this. And maybe in essence, he also knows nothing, because for him, he has a lot of other things to learn. But maybe me compared to him, or me too, you two, both compared to him, of course we know nothing compared to Einstein on this topic. But I don't know if you see what I mean. It's like in your own level to also still believe that you don't know. And this is not easy to keep, because as human, we always want to know. No, it's like we're always looking to have the answer.
I think also being curious. So curiosity is like a life hack, a super skill, because there are those people out there who are just always curious, like always, they always want to learn more, and they're open to learn more. And, some people are just not. Some people are like, no, I know it, and that's it. This is my truth, and that's the only truth, and I'm not open anymore, and I'm just gonna, preach what I think, what I believe in. And yeah, like you said it, I think it's dangerous. It's really dangerous. So those people who really think that they know it, and they figured it out. No, like no one has ever figured it out, right? It's not like you said, it's not a competition, right? There's always something you can learn. There's always more and more, and that's also human nature. We always want more. We always want to learn more and do more and be more, right?
Yeah, but also as human, we always want to know, to have the knowledge about the universe. No, we are always looking
Yeah.
to get what the truth. But yeah, but also we think that we know a lot. Especially, I'm saying this especially because a lot of countries, or a lot of people, they believe that they know more than other tribes, or they know more about other cultures, about how to live, about how to do business or whatever. Like you believe that maybe the Americans, they know more than the Africans on how to do business. But maybe that's not true. Like it's not true. Like it's something really interesting to always re-question yourself, and also always putting you back to stay back to a humble place, and not like being always that I know everything. And yeah, it's not easy to do this. I talking for myself also, because I think I do it sometimes. Sometimes I can block as I told you, for this specific example of, I told you, I think I've been doing this for 2 years, 3 years, that I blocked kind of knowledge about search engine and all of this, because I thought that I didn't need to learn about this. But now I feel that, yeah, maybe I need to learn about it or to keep an open mind.
Yeah, I think you're not alone with this. I think we are pretty much all the same. I think we all do this to a certain
What is
degree, and
something,
it's
Flo?
okay, you know.
What is something that you will say you are an expert on?
That's the thing. I don't believe I'm an expert in anything. I think I'm good in a lot of things. Like when it comes to a lot of things, I have a lot of knowledge, but I do believe that I can always learn more. And even if I'm an expert, like if I would say I'm an expert, I'm pretty sure, you know, there is like someone who's gonna come along and going to teach me about this topic. Something.
I have a question for you, Flo,
Yeah.
and also like for the people listening. How do you manage that you're confident with what you know, but also not having the imposter syndrome, also to not feel that you don't know enough and so then you cannot share it? Because sometimes I think a lot of people, and also including me, we everyone I think suffer from the imposter syndrome, which means that you will never feel ready to share what you know or to teach people because you feel that you're not good enough, because you're not experienced enough. And so these people, they are always looking to read the next book or to go to the next course or to do a master or to do a PhD, to do like they're always looking for more knowledge, but then they never feel confident about themselves. And how do we can manage these two? How can we find a balance between always trying to learn, but also feeling confident with what you know?
Yeah, I think it's a really deep question. And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
I think again, we all do this, you know, we all have this imposter inside us. But I think for me, what helped me the most, because like I said, I'm a master procrastinator, and also I had a lot of issues with this or challenges. For me, it's 100% doing the work that, you know, I'm good enough. It's more like a self-love journey in a sense, because once you truly appreciate yourself, the work you do, and everything, you know, the energy you put in something and the knowledge you have, then I think you're good to go, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's the key, because most people just don't appreciate what they know, right? They're like, oh, it's not good enough, I'm not good enough, da, 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 da. And it's not true, you know. Of course, only because you know something, or just, you know, I don't know how much you know about the topic, that doesn't mean that your knowledge is not legit. You know, it can still be legit, and it's just also your own judgment, right? Like your own perception, how you see it. Maybe, you know, for some people it's nothing, for some people it can change their lives. So I do believe that whenever I share something, of course it's my experience, I'm not saying this is the only ultimate truth, but when I share something, I'm pretty sure someone is going to listen to it and it's going to be like, wow. So there are always going to be people who will learn and take away something from what we are saying. And I think that's the key to understand it. Maybe it's not going to be millions, maybe it's just going to be one person, but I think it's still worth it, because if it can change only one person's life, I think it's good enough, you know.
It's insane. Beautiful. Well, thank you, because this, I think, is what people need to hear, that each thing that they can share can help a lot of people. You don't need to be you don't need to go to big universities or etc. to change and to help others. And I give an example of a very simple one. It's like, do you need to go to university to have a degree to teach your kid how to ride a bike, or can you just teach them how to ride a bike because you learn it from your dad or whatever? Of course, if you want to teach him how to become like a professional, of course, it's different. But just to teach him how to ride, you don't know, like, you know it already. Don't have to do studies. But no, it's beautiful. Well, I really agree with you. But also what you said about the imposter syndrome, I think you're right. I don't think maybe it's not related to the knowledge, but it's more related to the person. It's more related to your self love and your self, yeah, how you see yourself. Not really too much related to the knowledge, even though it can also be related, but not to seek more knowledge, but to seek more self-love, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's more about believing in yourself, and believing that your knowledge is just as good as, you know, someone else's knowledge. Of course, maybe you know less, but it's good enough. And if you can help some people, it's perfect. If you can't, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be able to help. But yeah, I think it's a self-love journey. At the end of the day, it's a self-love journey, and we need to, you know, put in the work and accept ourselves, love ourselves the way we are, and not question ourselves all the time, like, am I good enough, can I do this?
Is this something very interesting that I just realized now? Is like the knowledge. It doesn't matter if someone has more knowledge or not, because it's more about how you use it and also about your perception. Let's say I learn how to cook. And maybe there is a chef that knows how to do all these crazy techniques, how to like cut potatoes very fast, etc. I don't like how to do all this crazy stuff. Maybe I don't need to learn this for depending on for the situation, but maybe from the knowledge, from the base knowledge I have, I can already create something very powerful. I don't need to create something that is super specific, and I need a very specific knowledge to do it or specific technique, because maybe it's not what people want also. And what I mean is like it's more about the basics. I think it's about learning about the basics in any discipline is to mastering the basics. And sometimes we'll try to find the best thing or to improve a lot our knowledge into certain things, but sometimes it's just doing the basics the best. Yeah, the same maybe with with cooking. You can find sometimes the best, as I think I said it in one of the podcasts before, but when you go to very fancy restaurants, you will see, I mean the real ones, not the ones that don't that look fancy, but the real ones that are expensive. You will see that the main plates, they are very simple dishes, but they are done perfectly. They are done like cooked perfectly. The taste is not nothing. The potato doesn't taste like the potato you've had, but it looks exactly like the same potato, and it doesn't look something very fancy, or it doesn't look something very crazy, but it's done perfectly. And so the basics, when you really master the basics, this is when you. This I think is like really being a master on a discipline is when you really understand a lot about the when you're mastering the basics.
I think also there are so many people who have a lot of knowledge, yet they never start. And there are also those people who have a decent knowledge, but they don't even come close to those people, right? But they start. And so what's better, right? To actually start and learn along the way, or just never start, right? I think that's what really can be scary. It's like actually wasting your life and your knowledge.
No, you have to. The best way to learn is by doing. The best way to learn is by doing. Of course, reading about it can help, but the best masters they have been done by the masters wars. No, is the one that I don't know in Japan. I think is really like the culture. Like really, people really they value a lot about the work, like the manual work. That the masters, like someone that does sushi, let's say, is really because he has trained many times to make the sushis, but it is maybe didn't go to a school or whatever. And this is very powerful, man, because I realized like becoming a master into a discipline, like to be not to become the best, don't have to be the best, but to master a discipline. And I think it comes from mastering the fundamentals and the basics. I think is really important, and also taking action. But I think is when you're looking for the specific knowledge or for the thing that is it's very advanced. Sometimes we're always looking for the special strategy. Like I'm telling you for marketing, for example, but always looking for the new strategy that is something that wow, no one use. It's like a secret one that they're always looking for a strategy that's super advanced and whatever. Always we are looking always for the advanced techniques, but maybe you don't need this. You only need to use the basics, but do it very good, much better than the others. Because I think everyone is looking for the advanced stuff, but they don't master anything about they don't know anything about the basics, or they forget them. It's the same with dancing, with everything. It's only about practicing, 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 and then you can go further into advanced stuff, but it's about mastering everything.
Also, I think so many people try to become perfect at something, and perfection is an illusion, right? It doesn't really exist. It's just our perception, the way we think about something. Maybe something that's perfect for me, for you is nothing, you know? So again, it's up to us. It's up to the person, like you said it before.
No, but also you're right, and I think it's important to say it for the people listening, is that if you have certain knowledge about anything, then you just have to go, and do it in practice, and then take action, because it's okay to learn from, like, it's good from you. Like, I think it's very good from people to always looking to get more knowledge and to try to learn, because it shows curiosity and it shows interest, and it's nice. It shows also like a passion that you can have, but still you have to take action. You have to go and take the first step. And this is sometimes when you don't learn something or you don't know anything until you have done it also. You really know something once you have done it many times, and always when you have done it many times, and also regularly. I will give an example of like athletes or footballers. I'll give an example of Leo Messi. Well, it's like the goal, the best player in all the universe. But why is because he hasn't been good for 1 year. He has been very good for 10, 15 years. He has done the work repeatedly. It's like he has been doing every year being the best, every year being the best, every day working. And it's not only one time. And you have a lot of players that sometimes you remember one player that was very good only 1 year, but then you forget him, all the time. And I think it's the same for anything. For us, it's the same, is to show up every day and to do it every day, every time. And this is how you know that you know something.
One thing that comes to my mind is fear, right? Because a lot of people don't start because they are afraid. And of course, the unknown is scary, right? A lot of times. But yeah, just overthinking it isn't going to help you anyways. I think it's like an intuition thing, right? Because you said it just started, and I think starting is the hardest part for most people. And yeah, that's just the tricky part, to actually get to the point where you start no matter what, and you are saying no to this fear whenever it creeps up on you, because it will, right? And like you said, learning by doing. I think so many people could have done better, or just can do better whenever they start doing on, and not reading about it and doing the research. So just by doing, you can learn way more than actually researching it.
A lot more. And also, I give an example, Flo. Let's say me and you, we are now at the bar and we see a beautiful girl. We see a very beautiful girl. Well, you have a girlfriend, but let's say you are single, okay? We see a beautiful girl, and let's say you have no idea, you have no idea what to say or whatever. But let's say you are really an action taker, so you go and you talk to her, and you say, "Hello, I'm Flo," and you don't know, but you have no idea what you are going to talk about. You just go because you're an action taker. And me, let's say I am more like, maybe I've read books about what should I say in the first date. I've read like many things. Maybe if I say this sentence, maybe it can help her. No, I'm making like an example, okay? Like maybe I've read about how to approach a girl. Like I've watched videos. I've read like many books about it. Who do you think is going to outbeat each other? Like, even though maybe I will be taking action, but still, because I've read a lot and maybe I'm anticipating some things, and maybe I'm not going to take the action. I don't know if you see what I mean in this example, because I think, but sometimes once you do it, you see that it never goes the way you expected sometimes. Or I don't know how to explain, but the best way is to improvise also. Sometimes it's good to go and improvise and just do. Well, maybe I didn't explain myself very good for this example, but sometimes you can learn a lot, but it doesn't help too much. It can give confidence to you. Maybe it can give me confidence to go and talk to the girl because I know a bit what I can say, but still, it doesn't make the difference too much.
It's more about confidence. It's being confident, because life is not scripted, right? You can read all those books and try to figure it out, but life always surprises us. And if something goes not according to the plan, then you're done. You need to read another book.
Always happens, always.
Yeah, but yeah, that's again surrendering and just going with the flow and keeping an open mind. And I think overthinking is the worst. Like when you're overthinking things, right? How am I gonna talk to this girl and what she's gonna say and da 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 da.
It's not also to go and to not have a plan. I think it's also good to have a plan, but to be able to get feedback from the things and learn from it, to learn from your actions. This is really important also, because let's say you go and talk to the girl and you see that she's not interested in, maybe you want to talk, you're talking about certain topic, she's not in, you see that she's clearly not interested. But because you read it on the book and maybe, oh yeah, the girls, I love this topic. Like you, or you don't enjoy it. Like let's say you read about certain things, but you see directly that this girl is not interested into talking to this. Yeah, you can just get the feedback and change your plan. But sometimes what I mean is that sometimes we have a plan and we are too stuck. You are really stuck. It has to be that way. It has to be this is how I've planned it. This is how it's supposed to be. But yeah, as you said, it's never like this. Yeah.
So keep an open mind and start reading less books and go out there and do it. Even if it scares you, do it.
Yeah, do it. It's really funny to say this because I know I host a book club and we talk a lot about books. But now I'm trying, I didn't tell you before, but I'm trying to transition it more and do not be too much a book club anymore, because exactly for this reason. Of course, I want people to read books because for me, it helped me a lot, but I want to be more in the real, to be more into the realistic, more into the experience, that people share more about their life experience and they share about what they've read. And this is something I want to empower more people to do, because sometimes think you don't know something because you didn't read the book, but maybe because you went through a breakup, or maybe because you lived in a situation, you know much more than me. For me, being on my couch, reading a book. And I want people, and that's why I'm doing in the book club and the event I organize, is to empower people to really share these experiences. And it's not easy because sometimes it's personal experience and personal traumas or personal stuff, but that's why also I want to empower them to do it, because as you said, know much more than you can imagine. And then even if you don't think that you know something, maybe what you share can change a lot of people. That's it. Just be courageous. I think maybe one of the words can be to be courageous, to take action, even though to go into the unknown. Maybe if you don't know what you're going to do, but still, yeah, you're courageous and you go. In bravery, you're brave and courageous.
Beautiful closing words. Thank you guys for watching and for listening. And smash the like and the subscribe button. Leave your feedback. Feel free to ask questions. See you in the next one.
Smash. Let's go.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.